I believe that there are many similarities between the evolving Ukrainian situation and the crisis in the 1930s. I would start with the false assumption that can be seen at the root of the crisis of the 30s and the present one, which is that nationality is determined by language. Mm. In the 1930s, it was the presumption that if you spoke German, therefore you were a German, therefore Germany should have jurisdiction over the piece of land on which you happened to reside. And that, of course, is exactly the argument that resulted in the Anschluss of Austria in March 1938, in the takeover of the Sudetenland of Czechoslovakia after the Munich Agreement, presided over by Mr. Chamberlain, that led to the German claim on the Polish corridor, et cetera, et cetera. So this, to me, is really the most important aspect of the crisis of the 30s before the outbreak of World War II. I think that Putin doesn't have a substitute for Marxism, for communism, any way you want to call it. What I think he wants to do is to rebuild Russia as a great power. So not as a kind of a return to the Soviet Union based on communism, Marxism, but rather as a sort of a czarist imperial power that has pretensions to security, control over the Turkish Straits, Bosporus and the Dardanelles, and other features that informed and inspired czarist foreign policy, not the foreign policy of the Soviet Union. I think they are very fearful, understandably, and anybody who has eyes to see and ears to hear should be fearful. Again, back to the 1930s, when Hitler took over Austria, some people in London, some people in Paris, many people in Prague, some people in Warsaw were disturbed by this, and they worried that, what if it's a sign of things to come? But Hitler said, oh, don't you worry your little brains. That has nothing to do with this, with you, because this is only, he used the German word, Familienangelegenheit, like a family affair. They speak German, I speak German. This is just in fact, he was an Austrian, So this is really an affair in the family. So don't you get involved, right?